Welcome, team, to episode 83 of the Keep Going podcast, Athletes Shining a Light on Mental Health. We had a little false start there for a second, which, man, is the first one in about probably 80 episodes, but we are so glad. I'm your co-host, Luke Week, coming out of Knoxville, Tennessee. We got DeJuan Hathaway here again for his second episode. What's up, DeJuan? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Luke. Thank you guys for having me again, man. Always good to be on the podcast.
Man, it's a blessing to have you. You sent me your book this past week. Manuscript, Augusta DeJuan Hathaway. Now we've got a DeJuan Hathaway Jr. in the world, so we're just stacking them on top of each other. Talk to the people a little bit, man. You're a new dad. Tell the people about that a little bit.
Yeah, man. I became a dad back in February, second week in February. He was actually supposed to be born on Valentine's Day, and he's like ready to come right now. So
okay, that's awesome.
Him after my dad, man, Augusta Hathaway. Augusta DeJuan Hathaway. So he's actually the fourth.
The fourth? Oh, my gosh. That is amazing. Carrying on the family tradition, man. And I know last time we were on the podcast, you talked about your parents being a huge influence in your life, and you talk about it in your book as well, Manuscript. Which principle was it you were talking about? I think it was be kind to others, right? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's just, man, that's what we call the golden rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do it if you have them do it to you. So it's one of those principles that I've kind of lived by my entire life. I stand by it. That's one of those principles that never fail. You push out that positive.
Yeah, DeJuan, here's what I was saying, bro. First and foremost, congrats on the book. I think all in all, I saw the cover art and I was like, this man came with it, first and foremost. Second thing, I think there's a lot of beauty in not cutting your word down too much and not trying to expand to 50, 100, 200 pages. If that thing was meant to be what you said, 36 pages, if it was meant to be that, that's what it was meant to be. We don't want the clutter. We don't want the filler stuff. We want authentic you, man. And I think that's something to be proud of. So first and foremost, congrats on the book. Second thing, if you don't mind, for the listeners, I know we have a lot of people that want to get into this. You got a favorite one you go over?
It is, man. Of the principles, I would say using the words to uplift people. Kind of like before you hopped on, Luke and I were talking about just like, kind of some of the stuff that people are going through this day and age. And you see, like, I mean, everything is getting harder for people to live, to survive, things like that. And just the simple words of encouragement. Like, I think people kind of underestimate how far that goes in a person's life. You know what I mean? Just in like a kind word. You never know, like, what a person may be going through. And to me, like, I think that's undermined a lot of times.
And this is just kind of a random tidbit for me, but I loved it. It's important to stay up on the news. It's important to stay up on global news, even local news. And local news, I would kind of say, is even more important for people nowadays. Know what's going on in your community. Know how you can help out your community.
Completely agree.
But if it turns to a negative, man, turn it off. Go talk to somebody. Those acts of kindness you were also talking about. If you find yourself getting negative, do an act of kindness for somebody else, and that'll turn your mental state right around. So I love that, man. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Luke, I feel like you're the exact opposite, man. If this is your scatterbrain morning, then I wish I had that every day, because I related so much to what you just said. Like, and DeJuan, to talk about the problems of the world, right? We're a big Inky Johnson podcast, and he talks about all the time, if you put your problems into a bowl with everybody else's problems, you'd pick yours right back up.
That's it. Exactly, man.
Yes.
Exactly. And the thing is like, I guess life and life is the best teacher. Over time, you get wisdom, obviously. And to me, it's like, as long as you're alive, you're going to face problems. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to have those bad days. You're going to have those bad months, years. It's going to happen. As long as you're still the best remedy for that as a coach is just listen.
Can you guys hear me again?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we're talking about you being an influence in your generation, you're doing that every day whenever you're coaching, right? You worked with our military forces. Are you still doing that currently? Okay, so you're leading the leaders, right? So talk about how you can help people in that kind of situation where they're struggling in the negative. How do you get them out of that?
I mean, and I think a lot of times when people hear the term coach, they think of a coach as someone who's yelling, who's barking orders all the times. But a sign of a great coach is their ability to listen.
Yeah.
Especially as a role as a strength, being a strength coach, like you get approached with problems outside of just, hey, how can I get stronger? I have guys and girls that come and talk to me about life problems. We just have, like we're having a conversation right now. At least 3 times a week, I have a conversation with someone just about life. Providing life advice. They're giving me life advice. We're sharing, our life struggles and how I got through it, and giving them advice how they can get through it and things like that. And to me, I find more value in that because that lets me know, even though they're, considered, our heroes,
absolutely.
they still have problems just like we do. And I think we tend to forget that they still have to go home and face life situations and face challenges that, that they have to pretty much hide whenever they come into work. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things that I tend to just, I'm just listen. Let's have a conversation.
I think that's kind of,
let's just talk.
You're not going to be the most effective coach you can be until you just know your athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And for you, DeJuan, that's even tougher because of the caliber of athlete you worked with. Like, they can't just go and express their issues all the time. Like, a high school athlete wears it on their sleeve. So everybody can see it, right? It's out in the open, and we're going to be able to talk about it no matter what. For you, you got to build that certain level of trust. And I think when you look at your book, when you look at manuscript, when you look at the way you live your life, right, and you look at the 10 principles that you've kind of put in place, it's so easy for somebody to trust you because they know what they're going to get, right? They know you're going to be committed every day. They know you're going to be there every day. So that personal relationship, man, is just, that's what it takes if you want to be a coach. Yeah. Don't neglect that part of it. Don't neglect that part of it.
I agree. And if you guys can't hear me, cut me off.
No, you're good. Go ahead, buddy.
DeJuan, do you feel like your accountability and your vulnerability makes your relationship better with these athletes, with these professionals? Yeah, right. We think we're really good at hiding it. We're not. We're not.
Dude, I'm like those high school athletes every day,
Yeah, right. Exactly. Go ahead.
100%. Because it's kind of funny because they can pick up when something's wrong with me. They're like, Coach, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing. You know what I mean?
They smell that. I'm gonna be blunt. They smell that shit from a mile away, boys.
I'm usually the guy I'm usually smiling. I'm usually happy.
You know what? I think that gives them the ability to be like, you know what? I can be a human today. And that builds long-lasting, life-changing, I'll be at your wedding type relationships. And I think that's big. I think that's big. So hand up accountability for our listeners. You can be your authentic self, and we don't expect you to be perfect. You are not a robot. There's my rant. So go ahead, Luke.
I'll take all the rants.
No, I think you touched on something great right there. That's true. Like, yeah, we have these different titles. Yeah, we wear different uniforms.
Yeah,
but still underneath that is still a human being. And I think a lot of times that's what people tend to forget. Like, some people get caught up in these positions and I'm this title and that title. Like, that doesn't mean. Excuse my French. That doesn't mean shit.
And that's exactly kind of what you talk about. Those are the times when another teacher comes and knocks on my door, another coach, just they can kind of see it, and they say, "Hey, what were you thinking about doing?" Or, "Hey, take that idea and run with it. I think it's a great idea." And just those little phrases those little phrases could, lead somebody to their next biggest accomplishment. So make sure you just say it. Just say it.
Luke,
just get out there and encourage people.
Luke, stay whatever you have for breakfast, Luke, stay with this, bro, because I'll tell you this. I completely
Espresso,
agree.
Buddy.
Stay with that mocha, baby. Stay with that mocha. What I would say is at the end of the day, I would rather ask somebody, hey, are you okay? Than and get whatever response I get, then not ask at all. And I think sometimes people don't want to budge in, but sometimes you have to. You never know, like DeJuan touched on. You never truly know what someone's going through. So make that extra effort. I'd rather get told to F off than not ask at all.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of times, just to kind of piggyback off that, is our intuition usually tells us, we can usually sense. You guys says, like, when the guys can sense if I'm off and I can sense when they're off, we can sense when a person is kind of going through something. You know what I mean? But like you guys said, like, a lot of times we tend to ignore it because we don't want to invade a person's space or come off as, why are you in my business? So it is, and it's hard to kind of, ignite those conversations a lot of times.
Yeah.
But it is important that we, whenever our intuition, our gut instinct,
it's not a coincidence.
Gears us towards,
it's not. Yeah.
Whenever I go into a restaurant or go in, literally the USPS. I was in the USPS the other day. Met 2 or 3 people that were amazing people that because I left my phone in the car, I was able to just have a conversation with them. And people they were excited to talk to me. Or at least, hopefully, I think so. They acted excited to my face. Who knows if they were or not. But, that's what I imagine life should be like. You should be able to just go in and have a conversation with somebody. So don't be afraid to strike one up.
Yeah, I like that. And DeJuan, let's stay there, man. I think myself included, Luke included, our listeners from part 1 of this, they look at you as a strong, inspirational, motivational, young African-American black man. And
for sure,
I'm always going to tell you that I look at you the same way, and I know hundreds and thousands of people do, but it wasn't always like this for you. So for people trying to get to this point, what advice would you give them, man? Because I know you could spark a lot of generations on the call today.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. And me personally, I don't see myself as a kind of like an inspiration to people. I see it as doing my purpose in life. And one thing that I've learned over my years is character is always going to take you the furthest in life. It's like we talked about the last podcast. One of the quotes that I put in the book was from one of the coaches at the Bills, and I was in there just talking shop with him, and I was asking him about career and what do I need to do is this that to get to this level. And the biggest thing that I took from the entire conversation was him telling me to treat everyone with respect. And that's one of the quotes in this book that I put in there. Like, that stuck with me, that resonated with me, because I feel like that is a quality that has been lost. Like, it's social media is about likes. You seeing videos of people being, attacked and hurt and things like that. Instead of helping reach out to someone, it's just like everyone pops out the phone. You know what I mean? It's just like we've kind of lost those values. And for me, it's always been about, regardless of what I've had to go through. Like you said, like my struggle, people may think my path has been easy. It hasn't been easy. And one thing I'm not afraid of is to share my story, be vulnerable, and talk about the experience I've been through. I've been released from jobs. I've been demonized. I've had people attack my character. So, and especially this last year, like this, I say this last year has been probably like the toughest year, like, of my career. Like, and no one would know it, but people who are like around me, they know it. You know what I mean? And the good thing is like guys like yourself, some of my family members, my friends, they're there to provide that encouragement. Because people look at me, be like, they come to me for encouragement. But like I said, there's times when I need encouragement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was a tough season that I had to endure. And one thing I learned through that season is never attack the individuals that attack you.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
that's something God's going to take care of down the road. Karma, God, whatever a person may believe in, like I said earlier, like the energy that you push out, the energy is going to come back to you tenfold. It's just like you plant an apple seed. You're not going to get an apple. You're going to get back thousands of apples. Yeah. And I've seen like those same people that had attacked me and said the things about me. I've seen the things that happened to them, and in my heart, I'm like, I hate that it happened, but that's the seeds that you planted. You know what I mean? Like, and you stay positive about it, but it's just one of those things, man. Like I said earlier, you have to know that bad things are going to happen. And it's one thing that I should have put in the book that
I've never had that conversation.
But I remember vividly, like I was either in my room in Buffalo or I was it's probably here. But I was praying one day. I was like, dang, God, like, why is this happening to me? I could not understand, like, why is this happening?
That's powerful.
Bro, like,
right.
That's powerful.
Just like he does, he slapped me straight in the face. And I just remember hearing his voice saying, the same thing happened to me, but at least they didn't kill you. And I was like, damn, like, I have nothing to complain about. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I was like, bro, I have nothing to complain about. Like, I can get through this.
Amen.
Yeah. And he's taking me through this because
I talk about the season, Luke, all the time. Like,
he's forcing me.
The season can be the reason
I need to grow in,
and everybody always talks about the reason for downfall.
Usually during a tough season,
or the reason for growth.
Going through a tough season to go to a higher stage.
It's up to you. You got the hand you were dealt. You got to use it. Then the other thing I'd touch on here is, DeJuan, you're probably realizing this with age. I know Luke is too.
Yeah.
The same people that were maybe preying on that downfall, the same people that were talking crap in circles, are the same ones celebrating you when you make it. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I know you're probably seeing it. You know, congrats on the book. When you got to the Bills, when you went on TV, when you helped out professionally, I bet these people are reaching out saying, great job now. And you're like, wait. That doesn't make any sense. Right? So.
Dude, we about to go deep now, bro. Like the weird thing is they can't stop like what God has ordained. You know what I mean? Like you can try, but eventually you just hurting yourself because I feel like those people were put there to catapult you to their destiny. And just like we have an option, they have an option. They can either get on the coattail and come along with the blessing, or be the haters. You got an option. You know what I mean? What's your choice? Choose your choice, because you're not going to stop my purpose. Exactly. And it is weird because it's just like when I was going through this storm, the book resonated from that storm.
Yeah.
Like there's always, like I said, there's always light in that darkness, even though it may seem like, damn, like I'm gonna get through this, man.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it was mentally stress. That was a mental stress for me, man.
Yeah,
like, and I did a good job. I feel like I did a great job of keeping, because I don't like to bring my issues upon other people. You know what I mean? It's just like nixing that negativity. Like I don't like to bring my problems upon other people.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
that's
with
something
that.
I have to deal with. I shouldn't have to have someone else deal with those problems. But there's times that you need people to talk to. You know what I mean? And so, like, I'm grateful for the people that, the Lord brought through my life during that time to kind of navigate through that. And
DeJuan, stay there. Stay there.
It helped a lot.
You talk about the people, right? Your support group, the people that have been
you
a light during this time outside of your faith.
You just got to know how to channel.
Can you elaborate on that? Who's been there?
You got to know how to, find the light in the darkness. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, first and foremost, I would say like God is like the biggest.
Okay.
For me.
Nice.
God's my biggest source that I depend on. Like never fail. But I will say this is a guy that's he's in the military. I won't say his name, but I call him Mac, so he knows what I'm talking about. But crazy story about
Yes.
Mac. Mac and I met back in 2000 and I want to say 14, at a combative's house,
Yeah,
fight house. So yeah, one of the things in the book again is martial arts, self-defense training. And he just randomly came up to me. He was like, "Hey man, you want me to hold mitts for you?" I was like, "Yeah, cool, sure." Never met each other. Or I get, I took a position here at Fort Stewart.
Yeah.
awesome.
He gets transferred here. So man, we've maintained this relationship since 2014, and he's a big believer in faith. He's a big combatives guy. He's my accountability partner. And what's weird is he went through the same thing that I went through a year prior. And I always say that someone who's gone through your experience before, they can help you get through that. And he was that person that I was going through.
That you shared that story this morning. That's going to encourage him. So all that to say, DeJuan preaches, or practices what he preaches. So we're so glad to have you on, man. And I know I already asked about it once, a little bit in the first part of the podcast, but what's your favorite part about being a father, and what are you looking forward to kind of teach your son in the future?
It's just seeing
Chico, nice.
myself within him. You know what I mean? It's just the realization of wow, this guy, yeah, you know what I mean? I have nicknames for him. We call him Chico. So Chico. So my buddy Chico, man, he just he kind of recenters me and makes me focus on okay, I found a new purpose in life. You know what I mean? It's not about just me. Now I have a legacy to leave. What are these principles that I need to teach him? Because he's going to be watching me. He's going to be watching everything that I do. He's going to soak up everything that I do. You know what I mean? And the fact that it's a boy. I'm not saying that I want a girl, but it's a boy. I remember vividly before my father passed, he was like, if you ever have a kid, just promise me you give him my first name. You keep the first name, Augusta. So that's what we did. And then fast forward, the weekend we had the baby shower, it was on the same weekend that my father had passed away. And then the location where we had it at was next door to where he had retired from.
Yeah.
And then on the building, it said Berkshire Hathaway. So I kind of felt like God gave me all the lines that, this kid was, man, I just enjoyed it. I didn't realize how much I love Elmo.
The question is, what's on the horizon for DeJuan Hathaway?
Man, who knows, bro? I just live it day by day. I anticipate big things are going to happen. And I appreciate you guys allowing me to be on here to share my testimony.
Yeah.
My intent is I want this book to touch as many people as possible across the world. I feel like I say that about every book, but I feel like this book is it's short and sweet, and I feel like it's going to touch a lot of people's life. I gave it to some people that have been influences in my life. The coaches at the Bill staff, some other pastors and things like that, other MMA coaches and stuff like that. It's just, man, I honestly, I just kind of take it day by day, like I said, and I hope, I envision that this is going to be a book that goes worldwide.
Yeah. You can see your purpose shift with it a little bit, right? This is what the general population needs. This is what men today need, and you're manifesting all that with your words and with your actions. So we're so glad that you decided to come on today, and that you're going on another podcast tomorrow, and that you are influencing people of our generation like this. So thank you for that, first and foremost, for sure.
to come on with you guys. We always have good conversation. I feel like I'm not as nervous when I come in.
So I got a couple last things before I wrap us up. First thing, somebody better grab the wheel, man, because I got that thing in the cart right now. I'm buying the book today. That's the first thing. That's the first thing.